Hello, my wise elders. Welcome back to this great channel. I have a question for you. Have you ever found yourself in a quiet home with only the sound of a ticking clock and wondered, is this all there is to life? Have you felt that subtle ache in your heart when you see others surrounded by family while you are by yourself? For many of us in our later years, that silence can be overwhelming. It's important to understand that this isn't just a passing sadness. Leading medical research, including studies from prestigious publications, reveals that long-term loneliness can harm your physical health as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It can lead to higher blood pressure, disturb your sleep, and even affect your memory. But today, as your doctor, I want to share a vital truth I've learned from my patients. There's a profound, life-changing distinction between simply being alone and feeling lonely. I am convinced that learning to enjoy your own company is the key to discovering peace, freedom, and lasting health in this chapter of life. This isn't just a theory. I remember my patient, Arthur, after his wife passed away and his children moved across the country. He came to me feeling utterly invisible. He spent his days in a recliner, watching television and waiting for the phone to ring. When I saw him 6 months later, he was a changed man. He was busy, engaged, and happier than he'd been in years. And he still lived alone. Arthur's transformation didn't come from a frantic search for new friends. Instead, he discovered 6 psychological strategies to turn lonely emptiness into what we call purposeful solitude. In this video, I will share those exact 6 strategies with you. They are not vague concepts, but simple, practical, and free steps you can begin using today. Please stay until the end for strategy number 6. Arthur told me it was the one that changed everything for him. A simple way to reconnect with the world without any pressure. Before we begin, I'd like to know how many of you have felt this way. If my words resonate with you, please comment yes below. It helps me understand you and shows others they are not alone. All right, let's begin. Strategy 1. See solitude as a gift. Many of us are taught from a young age that happiness is a house full of people and laughter. So, when we find ourselves in a quiet home, after the children have grown or a career has ended, that silence can feel like a failure. It can seem like a sign that we've been left behind. From a medical perspective, I see this differently. For decades, your mind was in a constant state of reaction to children, to work, to traffic. It was always on, with little chance to just be. Psychologists tell us that our minds need quiet to process our lives and make sense of our experiences. Without it, we can feel overwhelmed and anxious without knowing why. This feeling of emptiness after 60 isn't a weakness. It's a result of a lifetime of conditioning. You were a caregiver, a provider, a problem solver. But in doing so, you may have lost touch with who you are when you're not serving others. Now, you have the gift of time, but it feels like a burden because no one showed us how to be with ourselves. This is where guilt often appears. You try to read a book, but your mind races, telling you should be cleaning or calling someone. You turn on the TV just for background noise. That restless anxiety in the silence is a symptom. Scientifically, your brain has a default mode network that activates when you are not focused on an external task. This network is essential for consolidating memories, processing emotions, and understanding yourself. When we constantly fill the silence with noise, we starve this vital part of our brain. People who embrace solitude often report feeling more creative, peaceful, and mentally sharp. They are healing their brains. I think of Margaret, a retired teacher who came to me feeling blue. She felt guilty for reading a novel in the morning, thinking she was being lazy. We reframed that time as her sacred hour. Now, she enjoys her tea and a book, and she told me, for the first time in 50 years, I don't have a hurry for anyone. She found peace in the quiet. So, here's my prescription. Stop automatically reaching for the remote. Stop feeling guilty for not being busy. The next time you feel that anxious silence, sit with it for just 1 minute and breathe. Then, ask yourself a question you may not have considered in years. What do I actually want to do right now? Perhaps it's painting, researching your family history, or simply watching the birds. Pick up an old hobby. This isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about recharging your own spirit so that when you are with others, you are truly present and not running on empty. Strategy 2. Build meaning with personal rituals. When you retire or live alone, the structure of your life disappears. The days can blur together, leaving you feeling adrift and out of control. This is where rituals become essential. I'm not talking about complex ceremonies, but small, intentional acts you repeat. Psychologically, these rituals act as anchors for your day and your mind. They send a signal to your brain that all is well, and that there is order and something to look forward to. They are a profound form of self-care and a promise you keep to yourself, which builds self-respect. Your old rituals were likely built around others, making breakfast for the family, Friday night dinners. Those external structures are gone, and that's okay. Now, you must create new, internal structures just for you. This is how you reclaim your time. If you find yourself staying in your robe until noon or forgetting what day it is, that is the symptom of a life without anchors. Rituals are the antidote. Research shows that seniors who maintain simple, consistent daily rituals report higher life satisfaction and lower depression. Why? Because these rituals trigger the release of dopamine. The anticipation of your morning coffee, brewed just right, is dopamine. Completing the ritual gives you a small, private sense of accomplishment. These small wins build a foundation of contentment. My patient David, a retired engineer, felt useless after retiring. We gave him a simple new structure. Now, every morning he grinds his coffee beans, does the crossword in ink, and walks 1 mile. He told me, "It's simple, but it gives me a reason to get out of bed. It's my time." Start small. Your ritual could be taking 5 deep breaths before you get out of bed, cooking yourself a nice meal on Sundays, or a short evening walk. The only rules are that it must be for you, and it must be intentional. This is not a chore. It's a celebration of your own worth. If you have a daily ritual, please share in the comments with "my ritual." Your idea might inspire someone else. Strategy 3. Commit to lifelong learning. A terrible myth in our society is that learning is only for the young, that after retirement, your brain retires too. Many people feel their minds aren't as sharp and become afraid of new things, like technology. As your doctor, I am telling you this is a dangerous falsehood. The biological truth is that your brain is dynamic and capable of change until your last day. This is called neuroplasticity. The old adage, use it or lose it, is medically accurate. When you learn something new, you are building new pathways in your brain, making it stronger and more resilient. The beautiful part is that now you get to learn for the pure joy of it, not for a test or a promotion. When you stop learning, your world shrinks. But when you keep learning, your mind and world keep expanding. If you feel mentally foggy, bored, or left behind by the world, that is a symptom of a hungry mind asking for a challenge. The evidence is overwhelming. Major studies on aging show that seniors who engage in mentally stimulating activities, like learning a language, doing puzzles, or reading, have a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline. You are actively protecting your memory. My patient Susan, 72, always wanted to learn about ancient Egypt. She started with one library book, and then her granddaughter showed her YouTube. Now she watches university lectures and has become the family expert on pyramids. She told me, "I feel sharper and more interesting now than I did 10 years ago." She was building a new, more confident self. Be like Susan. Pick one thing you've always been curious about. Go to the library, watch a documentary, or download a free language app. This is about pleasure, not pressure. The goal is to be curious again, to be an explorer from your own living room. If you're inspired by what your mind can still do, comment "wow" below. Strategy 4. Seek comfort in nature and movement. When we feel down, it's easy to become stuck in a comfortable chair. But this safe haven can become a trap. You sit, your body gets stiff, your joints ache, and your mood sinks. It's a vicious cycle. The simple biological fact is that your body was designed to move. Gentle movement releases endorphins, your body's natural pain relievers and mood boosters. Stepping outside exposes you to sunlight, which helps produce vitamin D for bone health and mood regulation. Fresh air is an instant, free antidepressant. I am not talking about running a marathon. I mean gentle, consistent movement. Walking, stretching, watering plants. This gets blood flowing, lubricates joints, and clears the mind. If you wake up stiff or feel a sense of gloom, that is your body gently asking you to move. Study after study confirms that gentle exercise like walking is one of the most effective treatments for mild depression. The connection to nature, sometimes called ecotherapy, is also profound. Being in a natural setting, or even looking at one, lowers blood pressure and reduces stress hormones. Nature becomes a loyal, quiet companion. My patient Robert had achy knees and was grieving. My prescription was simple. Sit on your front porch for 15 minutes every morning. He did. He started noticing the birds, then bought some potted plants. Soon, he was walking to the mailbox and then around the block every day. He said, "Those birds are my little tomato plants. They're my friends. They were waiting for me." Make nature your friend. You don't need to climb a mountain. Open a window, listen to the birds, sit on your porch, or plant a single tomato plant. It gives you a reason to get up and out. Your action for tomorrow: step outside and take 5 deep breaths of fresh air. That's your start. If you promise to do this, comment healthy below. It's a promise to yourself. Strategy 5. Cultivate gratitude and positive self-talk. When you spend a lot of time alone, your thoughts become your constant companions. For too many of us, that inner voice is a critic, telling us we are useless or that no one cares. This critical voice can become a soundtrack to your day, reinforcing feelings of loneliness and worthlessness. But here is the powerful truth. You can change that soundtrack. You can learn to be a compassionate friend to yourself. This is not about positive thinking. It's about fact-based thinking. It's about consciously directing your attention. If you find yourself constantly focusing on what's wrong, what you've lost, or what you can't do, that is a symptom. Your mind is stuck in a negative loop. The practice of gratitude and kind self-talk is the way to break that loop. The science behind this is remarkable. Studies in neuroscience show that consistently practicing gratitude can actually rewire your brain, strengthening the neural pathways associated with positivity and well-being. It lowers stress, improves sleep, and can even reduce physical pain. When you talk to yourself with kindness, you calm your nervous system. You are quite literally speaking yourself into a state of better health. I think of a patient named Eleanor. She was a wonderful woman who had undergone a difficult surgery. During her recovery, she became fixated on everything she couldn't do. She felt like a burden. We started a simple practice. Each evening, she had to write down 3 specific things she was grateful for that day. At first, she struggled. "I'm grateful my daughter called," she'd write. But over time, she began to notice smaller, beautiful details: the warmth of the sun on her face, the taste of a ripe strawberry, the fact that her legs carried her to the mailbox. She also started replacing her harsh inner critic. Instead of "I'm so slow," she would say, "My body is healing and I am doing my best." This simple shift didn't change her circumstances, but it completely transformed her experience of them. So, how can you start? Tonight, before you go to sleep, find one single thing you are genuinely grateful for. It doesn't have to be profound. It could be the comfort of your bed, a memory that made you smile, or a show you enjoyed. Say it out loud or write it down. Then begin to notice your self-talk. When you hear that critical voice, pause. Would you speak that way to your best friend? Probably not. So, gently reframe the thought. Change "I'm so lonely" to "I'm giving myself the quiet I need right now, and I am connected to my own life." This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about offering yourself the same compassion you so freely give to others. Strategy 6. Forge small, meaningful connections. This final strategy is the one Arthur said changed everything. It addresses the deep human need for connection, but in a way that feels manageable and free from pressure. The goal here is not to find a crowd of new friends, but to experience small moments of shared humanity. After losing his wife, Arthur felt the expectation to get out there and socialize. The thought of joining a club or making forced conversation felt exhausting and inauthentic. His breakthrough came when he stopped trying to find connection and started creating it through tiny, consistent interactions. He started by simply making eye contact and offering a genuine "good morning" to his mail carrier. Then He began visiting the same park bench every afternoon. He didn't go with the goal of talking to anyone, but he became a familiar face. Soon, he was nodding to other regulars, then sharing a comment about the weather, and eventually having brief chats about their lives. These weren't deep friendships, but they were real. They were threads of connection that wove a safety net around him, reminding him that he was part of community. The psychological principle here is called weak ties. These are our casual acquaintances, the barista who knows our order, the neighbor we wave to, the person we see at the library. Research has found that these low-stakes relationships are incredibly important for our sense of belonging and well-being. They make us feel visible and rooted in the world without the demands of a deep friendship. If you feel invisible or isolated, this is your remedy. Your mission is not to throw a party, but to create one positive micro-interaction each day. Give a sincere compliment to the grocery store cashier. Ask a neighbor about their garden. Strike up a brief conversation with someone else at the dog park or library. Even a warm, genuine smile directed at a stranger can be a powerful moment of connection for both of you. These small acts are like dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples extend outward, touching your life and the lives of others in gentle, unexpected ways. They rebuild your sense of belonging on your own terms. So, there you have them. 6 powerful strategies to transform loneliness into purposeful solitude. See solitude as a gift. Build meaningful rituals. Commit to lifelong learning. Seek comfort in nature. Practice gratitude and forge small connections. This is your path from feeling lonely to feeling whole. It's a journey back to yourself, to peace, freedom, and lasting health. You have everything you need to begin that journey today. You are not invisible. You are the author of your next chapter, and it can be your most fulfilling one yet. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned and how you'll apply it in your life. Your comments inspire us to keep going. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips and share. Your support makes it possible for us to continue creating content that informs and uplifts. We appreciate you watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.